Niggas are gonna go through every ailment there is. You can't be worrying about that, because if we keep worrying about the trouble that the masses are in, we never cultivate anything among ourselves to get to the high level in which the masses gonna be a part of. Because ultimately, all this shit got to be destroyed. This shit is over.
I am inevitable.
Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, back in full effect. Welcome to Night and Day Network. We got to get into these topics, man.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yes, indeed. Come on in, y'all. We're going to give y'all a chance to come on in. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. Like this video. Hope everybody having a good Monday morning. Good Monday so far. Shout out to y'all that been subscribing, you know, sharing the content, man. Y'all got us monetized today. We appreciate that. We definitely appreciate y'all getting us monetized. Man, it's been a long time coming, you know, so we definitely appreciate that. But we got to get into Trump. So Trump did a 60 Minutes interview where, you know, he went off on a reporter because she was asking him questions that the American people want to know. So he got a little sassy. He did get a little sassy with the 60 Minutes reporter. So we're gonna get into it. So the supposed shooter supposedly left a manifesto, which we're gonna get into. Let me pull this up. Yeah, they saying he left a manifesto. It was Trump is calling it anti-Christian manifesto, but I really don't think it has anything to do with religion. To be honest, listen, the left and right feel like this was a staged event. So whatever the mainstream media is reporting on right now, people is not buying it. They are not buying it.
It ain't nothing real when it comes to politics. All that stuff is just there for theater. Why they steal and pillage everything. Yep, that's all they care about. Killing, dealing, and stealing.
Yep.
That's all they do.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is KATU, ABC News. Says the full manifesto by accused shooter at the White House correspondent dinner. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so the president and first lady, along with the senior staff members, were safely evacuated from the White House correspondent dinner on Saturday after the gunman rushed a Secret Service checkpoint inside the Washington. So we all know all that. So I'm just want to get into the manifesto. All right, so this is the manifesto by Cole Island, supposedly. All right, Cole Island's
I doubt it.
manifesto full. It says, "Hi everybody." I don't even like the way that started off already. Hi everybody. So I may have given a lot of people surprise today. Let me start this off by apologizing to everyone who trust I abused. I apologize to my parents for saying I had an interview without specifying it was most wanted. I apologize for most wanted. What the hell? He said I apologize to my parents for saying I had an interview without specifying it was for most wanted. I don't even like how that sounds. Like, is he speaking in future tense, saying that specifying the interview it was for most wanted? He sounds like he's talking in future tense. He said, I apologize to my colleagues and students for saying I had a personal emergency. He said, by the time anyone reads this, I probably most certainly do need to get to the ER. He said, but hardly call that a self-inflicted status. So I guess he's talking about, taking himself out. He said, I apologize to all the people that I traveled next to, all the workers who handled my luggage, and all other non-targeted people at the hotel who I put in danger simply by being there. Yo, this don't sound right, bro. This don't sound real. I'm gonna be honest, this don't sound real. Like, who types a manifesto like that? Like, apologizing in future tense. Like, I apologize to everyone who I abused or murdered before this, and all those who suffered before I was able to attempt this. To all may still suffer after, regardless my successful or failure. He said, I don't expect forgiveness, but if I could have seen any other way to get this close, I would have taken it. Again, my sincere apologies. He says, on why I did any of this. He said, I am a citizen of the United States of America, which my representatives do reflect on me. I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and a traitor coat my hands with his crimes. Well, to be completely honest, I was no longer willing to go a long time. He said, but this first real opportunity I've had to do something about it. While discussing this, I also go over my expected rules and engagements, probably in a terrible format, but I'm not military, so it's too bad, whatever that means. He said I would still go through most of everyone here to get the targets if it were absolutely necessary, to the basis that most people chose to attend the speech by a pedophile, rapist, and a traitor, and are thus complicit. But I really hope this doesn't come to that. He said rebuttals to objections. So objection one is, he said, as a Christian, you shouldn't turn the other cheek. He said rebuttal, turning the other cheek is for when yourself are oppressed. I'm not the person who raped in a detention camp. I'm not the Fisher executed without trial. I'm not the school kid blown up, or the child starved, or a teenage girl abused by many criminals in this administration. All right, so he continues to say, turning the other cheek when someone else is oppressed is not Christian behavior. It is complicit and in the oppression's crimes. All right, he says, so follow the latest shooting at the White House correspondent dinner. The security loopholes that allowed Cole Island to get near the White House correspondent dinner, as Trump says he proves the need for a ballroom. Second objective, this is not convenient time for you to do this. Rebuttal, you say, I need whoever thinks this way to take a couple of minutes and realize that the world isn't about them. Do you think that when I see someone raped, murdered, or abused, should I walk on by because it would be inconvenient for people who aren't the victim? He said this was the best timing and chance of success I could come up with. So objective 3, it says you didn't get them all. This is him writing this shit out like in future tense. Like he's writing this shit out like for the future. He said you didn't get them all. Rebuttal. I gotta start somewhere. Objective 4, as a half black man, half white person, you shouldn't be the one doing this. He rebuttals that saying, I don't see anyone else picking up the slack. Objection 5, yield unto Caesar what is Caesar's. He rebuttals that by saying United States of America are ruled by law, not by any several people. It's also as representatives judge do not follow the law. He said, not one is required to yield, but them anything so unlawfully ordered. He said, I would also like to extend my appreciation to the great many people, since I will not be likely to be able to talk with them again. He said, unless the Secret Service astoundingly incompetent. This is crazy. So he said, thank you to my family, both personal and church, for the love of these 31 years. Thank you to my friends and your companionships over many years. He said, thank you to my colleagues over many jobs for your positivity and professionalism. Thank you to my students for your enthusiasm and love of learning. Thank you to many acquaintances I've met
Enthusiasm.
Yeah. Thank you to many acquaintances I've met in person and online. He said, for the interactions, long-term relationship, for perspectives and inspiration. Thank you all for everything. Sincerely, Cole. I guess his name, Cold Force, friendly federal assassin. That's his name. I guess that's what he called himself. Cold Force, friendly federal assassins island. Like, I don't know why he put all that shit in there. Like, who wrote this shit? I don't
I
believe
wonder
this guy
what.
wrote this shit, bro.
So I wonder what agency this guy worked for, because obviously this guy is
He's
this. First of all, this is an actor.
they
This,
saying
this
he was a
guy's an
school
actor.
teacher.
This guy probably wasn't even the one that wrote this shit. To be honest with you,
Right.
I don't know what agent was assigned to writing this manifesto, but it sucked really bad. It's
Yeah, he basically
unbelievable,
right.
and it is unbelievable that this guy, this so-called school teacher, literally went to that correspondent dinner armed up and it with knives in his pocket, guns in his hand, and expected to get anywhere close to President Trump. We
Facts.
all know this is BS, y'all. We all know this is BS. We all know it's a staged event. Like, there's nowhere in his mind that he thought he would get anywhere near the president by basically running through checkpoints, running through Secret Service checkpoints, just you by yourself with no full-fledged body armor. Tell you the truth, body armor wouldn't even work. None of that shit would work. You're not like, it don't even make any sense. Like, I don't understand how stupid they think we are, like, as far as the public. But obviously they think we're really dumb to actually, but to tell you the truth, a lot of people is not believing it, whether they Democrat or Republican. People are
Yeah,
just not believing
yeah,
this.
they definitely not.
Mm-mm.
And the reporter asked Trump that too, because they asked him, like, both sides are not really thinking this is a event. Both sides think this is a stage event. And he wasn't feeling that. He wasn't feeling the reporter asking me these questions. Let me pull this up real quick, because he was feeling some type of way about that. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up.
The fact that they go through this lengths to stage something like this goes to show you how desperate they are. So this is actually a good thing for those of us who's been paying attention to how corrupt our government is, and they do anything to keep in control, even stage events.
All
I
right.
mean, they've staged events in the past, so this is not like something that's out of the like something they wouldn't do, like done this type of stuff before.
That's that. Yeah. I mean, anything to create a narrative that steer us away from anything that's supposed to, anything that really matters, that's really important. Basically, keep us distracted. Yeah.
I hesitate to ask you about this, but as you know, these conspiracy theories out there on the left and the right, that the event was staged or that it didn't happen.
Last night didn't happen?
That it was because it was your first time there, or that Butler didn't happen. These conspiracy theories that are gaining traction on the internet.
October 7th didn't happen, and World War II didn't happen, and the Holocaust didn't happen, and many things didn't happen. Yeah, no, I hear it. I don't know. I think they're more sick than they are con people, but there's a lot of con in it too. I haven't heard that last night didn't happen. What usually takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Usually they wait about 2 or 3 months to start saying that.
I hesitate to ask you about this, but as you know, these conspiracy theories out there on the left and the right, that the event was staged or that it didn't happen.
Last night didn't happen?
That it was because it was your first time there, or that Butler didn't happen. These conspiracy theories that are gaining traction on the internet.
And October 7th didn't happen, and World War II didn't happen, and the Holocaust didn't happen, and many things didn't happen. Yeah, no, I hear it. I don't know. I think they're more sick than they are con people, but there's a lot of con in it too. I haven't heard that last night didn't happen. What usually takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Usually they wait about 2 or 3 months to start saying that.
Nah, not really. Where he at? Like, the internet moves pretty fast, bro. The information moves pretty fast. People can analyze it right away and be like, whether they want to assess it and be like, this is staged or not. They don't need to wait 2 or 3 weeks to be like, this is staged. No. Everything is so much camera footage from people recording with their phones, people, camera crews, and all the videos being released. People could assess this stuff themselves. They can, and determine whether it's fake or not. Like, they don't need to wait. Where is he living at?
And it's not like America don't have a history of false flags. What about the Gulf of Tonkin that got us into the Vietnam War? The NSA declassified those documents. Come to find out, that was a fake incident to get us pulled into the Vietnam War. So the U.S. does false flag events. Same thing when we was pulled into the Iraq War, saying that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, and no weapons of mass destruction were found ever in Iraq. So it's like America does false flag, like, seriously. Our government will do false flag to get us into any. All countries do that. I mean, that's an old tactic that governments used. Governments use those tactics for centuries.
Right.
They got to get the people on their side somehow. And this false flag is, first of all, it's a distraction, and it's to help Trump approval rate go up, because they want to make it look like he's a target because he's doing something right. He want to come off like he's a hero, like he's Abraham Lincoln or JFK. He's trying to put himself, because that's the first thing he said. They only come after you when you doing something right, like you're Abraham Lincoln. He wanna identify himself as Abraham Lincoln so much, and I don't even understand why, because he's nothing like Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah,
she's two completely different administrations.
Yeah, he definitely right. Yeah, she specifically said, listen, you have the left and the right believing that this is a staged event just by looking at it. I mean, he just don't have the credibility at all that he used to have. I mean, people are starting to wake up and see it for what it is. This guy has no position on, looking out for the American people, just like no other politician does. They only put in position to lobby for the corporations. A lot of them, into, weird Epstein type activities. So no, none of those politicians is there to benefit the American citizens at all. American citizens got to start doing for self. Just got to start doing for self. Can't really depend on the government like this. This government is rogue. They into all types of wars right now, draining money from the economy, manipulating the stock market, raising the prices on food and gas, and the American citizen, every American citizen, majority are, 1 or 2 paychecks away from living in damn homeless on the streets. Meanwhile, this guy sits up there and lies to the public and say, yeah, the economy's doing good. The economy never did great like this before. And, like, bro, you totally lying, because the debt, the $40 trillion in debt says different. You can't have a booming economy and being $40 trillion in debt. That don't make sense. But let's continue. So she continues to question Trump even more, you know. So let's go ahead and get into this. This is from his 60 minutes interview that he conducted.
No volume.
No volume? All right, let me reshare it again, y'all. All right. Yeah, sometimes the screen don't max out the sounds. All right, let's bring it back. All right, here we go. Let me know if y'all can hear it
The
now.
so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, you know, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, you know, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are
never,
the gunman's words.
excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're disgraceful.
the other thing in the
You're disgraceful. No, you're disgraceful, sir. You gotta understand something. Like he automatically thought the manifesto was about him. So are you guilty, sir? Because he didn't mention your name in the yeah, he didn't mention your name in that manifesto, sir. So are you insinuating that you, the person that he was talking about? Because that's what she asked. She said, well, hold on, he didn't mention your name. Are you saying that manifesto was about you? Sir, you just automatically
He's guilty.
Right. That's crazy. She literally
He
said
know how to manipulate any interview, don't he? He love manipulating. It's crazy.
Somebody said she disgraceful for asking that. No, I mean people would people will ask that. Like why people mad at the reporter for asking that? That's what the dude wrote in the manifesto. Why can't she repeat what's already public? It's already public. All she doing is asking him, listen, this is what he's saying in the manifesto. He automatically appointed himself as the person that was being talked about in the manifesto. She never mentioned no names. She didn't say Trump. This guy called you a pedo in the manifesto.
Well, obviously, he was talking about Trump. That's who he was going to,
right.
So-called get at at that correspondent dinner. I mean, but it don't make any sense. Like the people who believe that this is not a staged event, y'all gotta explain. Y'all gotta explain how y'all think that this man thought he was gonna make it to the president by running through Secret Service checkpoint. Right. Like that don't even make any sense. What type of plan is this? So you actually think this guy, his plan was to run through Secret Service to get to Trump to basically shoot or stab him? Because he had knives, so-called alleged knives, and a shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all believe this story? Y'all believe that official story, huh?
Man, listen, the way these cameras are set up, let me see if I can blow this up a little more so y'all can see. The way these cameras are set up, bro.
This ain't it.
The way these cameras right here are set up, the way they got them set up behind the thing and capturing everything that's moving back and forth. This is like the greatest set that you'll ever see in politics. This is like the perfect set when you want to shoot, you know, something that looks like an action film. Cause it looks like they're just running back and forth and really not doing nothing. It's like a bunch of propped people just running back and forth, making it look like there's chaos when is it where there isn't. So let's play this real quick because this is like spectacular, man. This is spectacular. Let me know if y'all can hear it too. Yep. Look, got a camera crew set up back there.
Got the whole Hollywood going on here. Feels like a movie. It really does.
Where's it coming from?
Does he doesn't know where he's going, it seems like.
Look, all camera crew back there.
This dude's just chilling here with his phone out. Like there's no big deal. We got random people walking in the background here. Everybody stay down. Meanwhile, this guy is still chilling here with his phone, and the guy recording clearly is standing up with his phone.
We got one down.
Oh, we got the military coming in.
What the f?
They don't seem like they're in a rush at all, by the way. Oh, more people.
Right, they walking slow as shit.
Stay down, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, stay down.
And then they're walking in. Like, what is going on here? Oh, this guy's coming back. And they're all just hanging out. And this guy's walking out without his gun. Look at him. He just ran over there without his gun. He's just empty-handed. Goes right through the door. And this dude, another security guard or something, he's just chilling. Oh, close the door. The top comment says it looks like a live comedy film. I mean, are we expected to believe this after how much lying our government's done to this, after how many false flags, after how many false justifications to invade foreign countries? We're supposed to believe any of this? And then Trump comes out on the news and says, oh, this is why we really need the ballroom. Come on.
Oh, that's crazy. That is insane. The whole let me let that play for a little bit because I want to see how that camera crew is set up back.
They're getting really bad at manipulating the people, aren't they?
Look at all the
They're doing
cameras.
a terrible job.
Look at all them cameras shooting though. Like they got the whole set right there. Look, that's all camera work right there. That is all camera work.
It's the Truman Show. You remember the part on the Truman Show when he went into the elevator? When he wasn't supposed to be there, and he seen people on their lunch break and the camera crew and all that shit. Like that's exactly what it is, bro. Y'all can't be believing this. No way y'all believe this. No way. Chat, no way y'all believe this. There's no way. And the thing is, the little bit of people in the chat who do believe it, they don't have no explanation of why it's real, except that because it was on TV. And it's their favorite politician telling them that. There's no other explanation. Like there's plenty of arguments to state that how it's not real compared to that it is. So I actually want to hear people who think that this is real. I want to hear people views think that this is real. Why do y'all think this is real?
Yeah, we could get some people on the panel. We'll drop the link for some people that want to come up and
all they want to say is you're retarded. You're a moron, you're retarded. That's all they say. They don't say nothing. They don't have no type of intelligent conversations. It's just, you're retarded, you're a moron, it's real, because Trump said it was real, and because it was on TV.
This is like the most greatest.
That's the brain dead community right there.
Right. Listen,
this ain't no great script. This is terrible, bro. This is a terrible script. It's obviously fake.
Right. This clip right here, right? This clip right here. So when it first occurred and started happening, right? Why did the Secret Service rush the JD Vance before they rescued Trump, bro? This is like insane. Like I never seen nothing like this. Like they literally rushed JD Vance off and left Trump sitting there. Then they came back and got him. Look at this, bro. This is like insane. I never seen. You would think they would get to the president first, not the vice president, right? This is crazy. This is insane. Look, I'm still sitting there. Look. Bro, did y'all see this? They literally grabbed Vance first, threw him off the scene, then ran back and grabbed Trump. Trump was just sitting there chilling. Vance already got out the way. Y'all seen that? This is not made up right here. This is not made up. They literally grabbed JD Vance first before they grabbed Trump. And they ran back and grabbed Trump later. Like, that's crazy. Let me play this again. This is insane. This is straight up out of Hollywood. This is straight Hollywood script. Let me play this again for y'all. Fake news.
Where's it at?
All right. Look, what's in there? Look, then they ran back and grabbed Trump.
Where? Where's it at? Where?
I'm gonna let this play a couple more times, just so y'all can see it.
Where's it at?
Bro, they grabbed JD Vance first and left Trump sitting there. They rushed him off the scene, then they ran back and grabbed Trump.
It's just as bad as the Butler PA script.
You know what could have happened to Trump in that most time that they grabbed Vance and got him out the way? They ain't know what. Dude could have got off a couple more shots before they grabbed Trump and got him out the way. They grabbed JD Vance first, bro. Let me let this play for y'all a couple more times. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable theatrics right here. This is unbelievable. All right.
Where's it at?
Y'all don't find that suspicious? They really let that man just sit there in his diaper while they ran young JD Vance off and left Trump sitting there in his diaper. Somebody said the link. Somebody want the link. Somebody said link to come on the live panel. I gotta show y'all more theatrics. It's more theatric videos. I gotta show y'all this. Y'all gonna be cracking up when y'all see this one. Y'all probably gonna think this is like the most funniest thing.
Plus, we only want people on the panel right now who disagree, who think this is not staged. The ones that's in the comments calling us morons and retarded and whatever else, what else they call us, libtard, trash, and all the stuff that y'all calling us. We want y'all to come up here and explain why you think this is real, besides the fact that it was on television. I mean, most of the stuff on television is not real anyway. And it don't even have to be real. Like, that's the thing about television. Fake news.
Got a couple more clips to pull up for y'all. Yo, my boy, this one right here is like the funniest too. This is the funniest. Old head, watch old head, throwing all the chaos. Watch this old head right here, y'all. This is crazy. Old head is unbothered. He don't care about nothing. He don't care about nothing that's going on. I just gotta finish my food. Look. All right, man, eat solid after White House court responded dinner shooting. Look, he just sitting there chilling, y'all. Look at this. This is him right there with the circle at. Look at him. This is amongst all the chaos. Look, he don't care about nothing. He just sitting there eating. He like, ah, this shit is fake anyway. I'm just continue to eat my food. Look, grubbing. He just grubbing. Y'all see that? Y'all the yelling in the background. He don't even care. He still gonna eat his food. He like, man, this is a $1,500 plate. I gotta finish my food. Y'all see him?
To be fair, there are people in the world like that, though.
Right.
To be fair, there is people in the world like that.
Right.
Shit could be going down around them, and they don't care. They sit there and finishing their meal or whatever. Yeah, there's people in the world like this. That's more believable than the whole event, though.
Right.
This guy is more believable than the called school teacher who went up there with a shotgun and a couple of knives in his pocket, running past Secret Service checkpoints, even able to get a shot off on one of the Secret Service agents without losing his life. Y'all believe that? Y'all believe that's the point? That's the part I can't get past. I can't get past that. All right, we know the good camera work, all the angles and all that stuff. The whole camera team out there, you know, it looked like everybody was on cue, and like how, you know, how they was moving Vance around and moving Trump. Yeah, that stuff looks staged too. But the biggest thing that's staged is that guy believing that he can get through. A school teacher, a liberal school teacher, who's supposed to be in a church, supposed to be a part of a church, bought a shotgun and a couple of knives to a correspondent dinner trying to run through Secret Service checkpoints and actually believing that he can make it. Come on, man. Like, y'all believe that shit,
like
man?
This video. Look, this one takes the cake. This one right here takes the cake, bro. Like, amongst all this, look at this. She said, oh, I got to get me a few bottles. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to take these. I don't get hell. What's going on? Let me get these bottles here. Y'all don't need these. She grabbed the bottles. Yo, she grabbed the bottles. She said, shit, these expensive bottles. Hey, I don't mind taking them. Y'all don't need these. It's all types of stuff going on in here. Y'all don't need these bottles. Look, she strictly took the bottles. Was out.
About to go have a party elsewhere.
Right, yeah, that's the facts. That's what she just. That's why she took the bottle.
Like she ready to go party anyway. The night ain't over. She like shit. She said shit. The night ain't over.
Right, I'm taking these right up to my room. Facts.
I ain't gonna let them kill my joy.
Right, she took those bottles quick. She took those bottles quick. Man, this video is sponsored by nightandayherbals.com. Man, let's get into a quick commercial break. We still got more to cover. This is sponsored by nightandayherbals.com. Let's get into this quick commercial break.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.
All right, y'all. We got 30% sale going on our website. Sell natural herbal products from CBD to sea moss to hair care, herbal soaps, and everything else. Apparel on there. Make sure y'all head over to 9dayherbals.com. We got a 30% sale going on. You can Google us You can Google us Night and Day Network LLC. You'll see everything pop up. Our website, our other social medias. We 5 stars on Google. Yep. So make sure y'all check us out. 9dayherbals.com. The link is in the description of this video, or you can simply get there by typing Night and Day Network LLC in your Google browser. All right. This is crazy, man. All right, so before the night before the event happened, there was a person, they saying it's a troll, that actually blew a big projection up on a hotel where they had the correspondent dinner at of Trump and Epstein. Like everything Trump was involved with Epstein, they put in this projection and they blew it up and put it on across the whole front of the hotel. This is crazy. But let's go ahead and get into this. Matter of fact, let me reshare this because just in case the sound went out. But yeah, this is crazy. But they like, okay, well, since Trump's supposed to have a correspondent dinner here, you know, no one's really doing nothing about the Epstein files. leaving these victims out here to basically suffer because they don't they don't want to investigate no one from the Epstein files, make no arrest or anything. So there's people out here taking matters in their own hands. So let's get into it. So this projection, they basically projected this this video on the Hilton Hotel. Let's get into it.
Dear President Trump, this building is the Washington Hilton Hotel. You'll soon be arriving here as the guest of honor at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. But the fact is, you, the President of the United States, are right now engaged in a massive cover-up of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. To date, your administration has only released about half the Epstein files. Of those that have been published, hundreds of pages have been blacked out entirely, and the names of many powerful men have been redacted, including, in some cases, your own name. Where you have been named, the files are damning. In one email from 2011, Epstein wrote to his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, expressing surprise that you hadn't yet been publicly accused of complicity in his activities. Epstein emailed Maxwell saying, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump." Maxwell replied saying, "I've been thinking about that." In an email from Epstein to author Michael Wolff, Epstein said of you, President Trump, quote, "Of course he knew about the girls." You recently admitted on Air Force One that you were aware young women were being recruited from Mar-a-Lago by Epstein. When you were asked whether one of them was the well-known Epstein victim, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, you replied,
"I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah, he stole her."
2 years after Virginia was recruited from your club, you told New York Magazine that you thought Epstein was a terrific guy. You said, quote, "He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." One release file shows you flew on Epstein's private jet, dubbed the Lolita Express, at least 8 times. Then you lied about it, like you've lied about so many aspects of your relationship with Epstein. The fact is, Mr. President, you knew. Release the files, end the cover-up, now.
This is people taking the matters into their own hands to get the information out there. I mean, it's a mystery with these Epstein files. I mean, you got this new, appointed person that took Pam Blondie's spot, saying they're no longer investigating anyone from the Epstein files. You got the DOJ launching an investigation on the files that were released, because they passed this whole Transparency Act during the time the Epstein files was being released, and they saying they never made good on those on transparency when it came to the Epstein files. They redacted a lot of the files. There's still a lot of files they didn't release. But the whole Transparency Act was supposed to, if they were supposed to release the files unredacted, it was supposed to release everything. So yeah, people still asking questions. What's up with the cover-up? Why is this Epstein stuff being covered up? Because we know why. We have heads of corporations on there. We have politicians on there, left and right wing politicians on there. You have people, heads of other countries on there. People from Dubai, Saudi, UK, France, Spain, Russia. It's all types of people in those Epstein files, and no one's going to jail. So now you just got a whole slew of victims out here from Epstein over the years, and yeah, that's what we dealing with. On top of more Epstein type people out here, like. Y'all think the buck stopped with Epstein? No, the operation still continues. Whether Epstein dead or alive, or Ghislaine being in jail, there's still going to be sex trafficking, pedophilia, drug trafficking, slave labor, murder. It's still, operation still continues. I mean,
So y'all,
what happens when a mob boss go to jail? Does the whole mafia go down? No. The mob boss go to jail, they just appoint another person to take his place. It's just how it go. Usually an underboss will step up and become the boss. Like, this is a crime, a global criminal syndicate that we're talking about here. So go ahead, bro.
those of y'all, those of y'all who feel like we're retarded or we're idiots, do y'all honestly believe that our government is not corrupt? Y'all believe that our government is on the up and up? Do y'all believe that? Do y'all actually believe that? And this is bigger than Republican or Democrat. Now I'm just talking about the United States government of America. Do you think that we are not corrupt? And that's the thing. That's what we have to get into, is like the corruption part of everything. Like, a lot of people be arguing back and forth about, which political leader is the best or what. But the thing is, each political leader is representing a very corrupt government. That's the thing. So who are you trying to defend? When you defend any of these politicians, you're defending a corrupt government. And what's the receipt to tell that we corrupt? The number one thing is we $39 trillion in debt, and the Pentagon itself failed 8 audits, and they're all covering up the Epstein stuff. And Epstein was directly, according to the files, according to the evidence, Epstein was directly connected to high and powerful people within inside our government, Democrats and Republicans. So we could argue rather it was more Democrats or Republicans. We're telling you that don't matter when it comes to corruption. A political party don't matter when it comes to corruption, y'all. Like, it's bigger than that, because Epstein was not just working with United States politicians. He was working with all types of world leaders and influencers, and he was basically working with the most powerful people around the world who don't identify with Democrat or Republican. Even your favorite leader don't really identify with Democrat or Republican once their mask is off. But when they got their mask on and they doing political theater and they doing these stage events, they'd be a Democrat or Republican for you. But behind the scenes, they're not really enemies with the opposite party. They're not enemies at all with the opposite party. They fake argue for political theater for us on national camera. That once the cameras are off, they go and enjoy a prostitute or something, or a line of cocaine or something of that sort. Share a cigar and some whiskey. Like, that's the type, they do that shit behind the scenes while they act like they enemies in front of us, and that's what's going on. So I like all this arguing about whether it's the Democrats or Republicans. I think that's holding us back. I think that's one of the main things holding us back as a country. Like, it's holding us back, arguing about whether the Democrats or the Republicans. Yeah, that's more like, we got to get to the root of this. It's bigger than Democrat or Republican. It's just a bunch of corruption, period. And there's no more lesser evils anymore. It's just they're all wicked, and basically they dragging us into it. So it's bigger than Democrat and Republican. That's what we're trying to get through to y'all. And there's no point arguing about whether the Democrats are guilty or the Republicans are guilty. Both are guilty. We're sitting here looking at the screen right now, and it says the U.S. national debt is $39 trillion. And that's from big government spending, because no one's watching where the money go when it comes to government spending. But when it comes to watching what the American citizens is doing with their money, they got a microscope up to your finances and your daily activities when it comes to monitoring what you doing. But when they able to run the tab up to $39 trillion and then squeeze us for more money. That's the big, that's extreme corruption right there. You talking about misappropriation of funds and laundering and all it and tax evasion and all that. Look at this shit. 39 trillion in debt. And half of the time, most of the time, the American citizens don't know where any of that money is going to. But they always squeezing us for it. Y'all gotta realize this is tax money that they running up like this. This is like debt that they putting on us. And this is both Democrat and Republican right here. This ain't none of that stuff even matters at the end of the day. It's about the people coming together and uplifting themselves in a community style and actually dumping this wicked government that got us under control. Because that's all they are, a wicked government that have us under control.
And this is the very
I don't see Democrat. We don't see Democrat or Republican on this channel. So all y'all in here arguing about Democrat, Republican, we don't care nothing about any of that. This supersedes that. This is wickedness and corruption. Like, this is the stuff that we supposed to be against 100%. Instead of analyzing labels, we looking at the contents inside those labels. Like, what is it made of? What are they doing? How is it affecting the world?
Right.
And what I'm seeing wickedness from both sides, Democrats and Republicans.
This Epstein cover. This is the greatest cover up. One of the greatest cover ups in America.
Somebody said we spread
modern day cover up. Somebody said.
Hold on, people trying to say we spreading hatred. How are we spreading hatred and we telling people to unite and put their differences aside? How is that spreading hate? We telling people to put your political differences aside and come together and go against wickedness. How is that hate? I want people to explain that. How is that hate? How would that be considered hate? That don't even make any sense. We telling people to unite and put their different, like, this is bigger than Democrat, Republican. We need to come together and forget all that Democrat, Republican stuff, and let's just start identifying the wickedness that's going on. Rather as a Democratic politician or a Republican politician, it don't matter who it is. If they governing us and they taking our money and doing whatever they want with it, going to war and all this other, funding people like Epstein, know about it, whether it's Democrat or Republican. That's holding us back. So how is that hate speech? That's not hate speech. Now we need to have some common sense now. That's the exact opposite of hate speech. That's the exact opposite of hate speech. And we ain't even telling y'all to go out there and get violent and go through this. We not even talking violence on here. We saying all we got to do is basically vote with our money. The thing is, we know that the government and the big corporations are running hand in hand. They partners in this when it comes to ripping off people, because the government only make the regulations to benefit the big corporations, and that's it. And they've been existing alongside each other for the longest. But if you do enough digging, you will see that a lot of the politicians and they cronies are the heads of the corporations. So they only friends and family anyway. So all they doing is looking out for each other and basically running the con on the general public. Because if you really examine all of the so-called laws that the government and the policies that the government come up with, it automatically benefits the corporations. Like that's a known scam right there. Like, people know this now. They've been doing it for so long, and especially people who have their own businesses. We know we know how government regulation only benefits the big corporations, and that's what's happening. Is the basically the partnership of the government and the big corporations teaming up against the general public. If y'all don't see that yet, then it's like, where you been? Like, we got all this information that we have access to, just one click of a button. How don't you see that? Like, and it's the same pattern. Like, how can't you recognize that pattern yet? So we have to start voting with our dollars. Yeah, and actually supporting smaller businesses and entrepreneurs and people from your community. as best you can. And then, I mean, you can fight back locally on a political level. When it started getting up to the Supreme Court and Congress and the White House and all that, that's when things get really complicated. People have to separate themselves from that. So we're not against voting 100%, because if you could be a pillar in your community and actually get an office, and you got the mindset of, you know, looking out for the people, and you're able to achieve getting in the office locally, like in local politics, that's all good. We're not against that. That actually make more sense than, you know, depending on Trump to do something for you, or Obama to do something for you, or Biden to do something for you, or Bush to do something for you. They're not going to do nothing for you or your community. They don't care nothing about you or your community, and they prove that over and over again. It don't matter if it's Bush or Clinton, Obama or Trump.
Yeah, it
don't matter who it is.
You got to get the corruption out of there.
Right.
I mean, that's because it's America can't thrive with the corruption being at the top. It just can't, because these are people that's up there with special interests. You know, these are foreign special interests at that. So we have to get these people out of power, get these people out of our pockets, get these people out of our you know, out of our government, period. These people are just not, they're just not put there to you know, to look out for the people. These people are put in position to steal and extract money from this economy, so it's damn near a third world. Yeah, they want to transform this country into a damn third world country. I mean, it seems like it at the rate that they're going. I mean, that $40 trillion in debt, ain't no way in the world the American people could pay that back. That's not our debt. That's not our debt. We didn't ask for any of that stuff. We didn't ask for them to send trillions of dollars to other countries for war. We didn't ask them to send, you know, 20-something billion dollars a year to Israel. We didn't ask for that. Who the hell are we working for? We got slave out here working 9-to-5 jobs, you know, independent businesses to pay taxes so they can give it all to Israel at the end of the day. What are we doing here?
Look what someone from the chat said. This is the mindset that people have been on, and we gotta change, even adjust this. Besides the fact that he was the only actual elected person in the primary, because the other, no, that's not the comment. Hold on. That's not the comment. It was this one. Was it this one? Yeah, this one. The corruption is probably never going away. You have to just vote knowing the people are corrupted, and pick the less corrupted person, which is why Trump was elected. See, that's the thing. There's no such thing as less corrupted or lesser evil. Because nowadays in 2026, with these wicked politicians we have, it's like, which one do you vote for, the murderer or the rapist? Like, that's where we at with it. Like, it's which one you gonna vote for? But that's how really bad. Like, that supersedes past the lesser evil. There's no lesser evil in that situation, and that's what we're faced with now. And that's why you've seen a lot of people this last go around say they didn't vote for nobody. It was nobody to vote for, because people wasn't going to vote for Kamala, nor were they going to vote for Trump. And that's where we at. That was our stance the whole time.
How are you voting? How are you voting for somebody that's all part of the same gang? That makes no sense. Whether you put a Democrat president or Republican president, they all still part of the same gang. So you voting for the same person, whether you voting left or right. It's the same gang.
Right.
It's the same organized crime. That don't make sense. It's like, all right, who we vote? Which organized crime boss we gonna vote for? That's part of the same clique. That don't make sense. They're both part of the same gang. This makes no sense. Where do that make sense at? Yeah, but that's what they do. They put it out here as choice, making you under the illusion that you got power because you got a choice to vote, whether the Democrat or Republican. But that's false. That's a false sense of power. That's like voting. What do you like better, Coca-Cola or Pepsi? What do you like better, hot Doritos or Cool Ranch Doritos? Like, there's no real power there. The real power is voting with your dollars. Once you stop supporting these corporations, they'll fall. Start supporting local businesses. That'll build the, that'll build the backbone of the country up when you start supporting local businesses. The moms and pop shops that's on the verge of closing down. A lot of them already closed up during COVID. A lot of moms and pop stores closed up during COVID. A lot of people went out of business because we decided to support the corporations and not the smaller businesses. So you got to start supporting the smaller businesses because that's the real backbone of the country. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, standing in line every 4 years to vote for somebody I think you'll do a better job networking with people within your community. That'll probably benefit you, better. Starting a business, starting a local business, getting support, start networking with people like-minded like you. Everybody supporting each other business locally. I think that'll do a better job than just voting for a politician all the way in DC. Ain't nothing that politician in DC can do for a community locally. Nothing. Support your moms and pop shops. Support your local food butchers, your meat butchers, your local farmers markets. People that grow stuff right there in the community, bring it to the market, and you can purchase it right there from farm to the table. You ain't got to wait for it to come in from Mexico and fruits and vegetables coming in from China and Thailand and all these weird places where they got to put extra spray on there just to preserve it before it gets to the supermarket. It's like they spray it before it gets to the supermarket. While it's traveling on the trucks, then they get to the supermarket, they got to spray it down again. It's like, well, it's not even real food by the time it hits your table. So that's all we be saying on this channel. That's all we say on this channel. Support your local businesses because that's where, it's going to be more beneficial.
Facts. You got to remember during COVID, you remember they intentionally went after small businesses.
Facts.
They wasn't going after the big corporations. And plus, they was naming a lot of the small businesses non-essential. So they couldn't open up anyway.
Right.
And then that was the time for a lot of those, they going after people licenses and all this type of stuff when it comes to owning a business during that time. So that right there, they was putting the pressure on people to close down. So yeah, that did affect the economy a lot.
Yeah, they was even tampering with our
they destroyed our economy, and it was intentional.
They was tampering with people online businesses by Square. Square was shutting down people's accounts just automatically. People was losing hundreds of thousands of dollars by Square just shutting their account down. They shut our account down during that time. Like, yo, why would y'all shut our payment processor down?
And they didn't even have a reason why. They said what the problem was. They said technically they couldn't fix it. They ain't know what was going on. And then they just gave up and said, "Oh yeah, we're not going to go through with trying to fix your account."
They did that to tens of thousands of smaller businesses online. Because when you went to the Square comment section on Instagram, it was a whole bunch of business owners in there asking, "Why did y'all shut down my payment processor?"
Yep.
Why did y'all shut my payment processor down?
PayPal, you remember PayPal did the same thing to us.
PayPal did the same exact thing. So you gotta understand what we up against here. They just don't have no interest in American people, period. These people are put in position to rob us blind. And that's the truth. I don't care who you vote for, they there to rob us blind. How can $39 trillion in debt? Right. How can a Pentagon be audited 7 times back to back with no transparency, and they don't even know where the money went? They literally don't know where the money went. They've been audited 7 times, but it's all part of the game. They've been audited, but we know that's just part of the process. They're been paid off too, just to let them walk out.
They said hundreds of billions, possibly trillions.
Nah, it's true. Yeah, when they accumulated the estimate, it was $886 billion, which basically touching $1 trillion.
Yeah. That's why I said hundreds of billions, damn near $1 trillion.
Pentagon ran out the back door. Meanwhile, you got this Epstein stuff going on still. So you're stealing our money. You're trafficking children.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Raping women.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
this
no
is
lesser
insane.
evil. There's no lesser evil because they all was in those Epstein files, and there was victims that came out and did say Trump did some stuff, as well as victims came out and said Bill Clinton and all of it. So all that. So there's no lesser evil. They all was working with Epstein, and people even worse than Epstein, believe it or not.
And this is throughout all administrations. It's not one administration better than the other. They all are part of the same gang, all doing the same thing. Like, this is like insane. And listen, they still not done crashing this economy yet. Like, they're still asking for $1.5 trillion for military fund just to go assist Israel.
Miss Amber Davis, do you want to come on a panel and tell us what great guy Trump is and how his war is making our economy better and how this event wasn't staged, correspondent dinner? Because it seems like you got a lot to say in the chat. We'll give you the link. See, we want people to disagree with us to actually have something to say because we open-minded on this channel. So if you feel like you got some good information that, you know, so-called exonerates Trump, besides him saying it himself, then yeah, you could definitely come on the panel and let us know. Because the only thing I've seen about Trump being exonerated is when he said himself that he's exonerated. No one else said he was exonerated. Trump himself said, I'm exonerated. I don't think, and it's a big difference. So if you got something to say, we'll let you up on the panel. You ready to come on the panel? You ready to come on the panel? Yeah, no one else exonerated Trump. There's never been no exoneration of Trump except by Trump saying I'm exonerated. And that don't count.
Well, Brent, what's her name? Brianna.
You got Amber Davis.
Or any of y'all can come up. Y'all both can come up and hit the link if y'all want to explain. She said my husband work in intelligence 100%. That's not how it works. I mean, you can hit the link and explain it to the people. All right, listen, we're not above, you know, accepting education or anything. Like, if you have something that's beneficial to the people, yeah, you got some information that's beneficial to the people, you know, and we give you the platform to, you know, explain it. She said, how to, where, here, is it Discord? Nah, this StreamYard, you can go to the, we got 2 live streams going on YouTube. They let the horizontal live stream and the vertical. I don't think the vertical allow you to click links. I mean, we could drop the link for, like, you know, I don't know. It depends on what device you on too, though, because some people can click the link from. But y'all gotta let us know if y'all want to come up and explain it. I mean, you know.
Only way you could come on the panel if you disagree. If you agree with what we saying, I mean, that's overwhelming. We want to hear people who disagree because I don't understand how there's anyone who could disagree with what we saying at this point. Because we haven't said nothing out of pocket and nothing that wasn't true.
Yeah.
Not to the best of our knowledge. So if you got something that disproves what we say, I really do want to hear this. I guess I'll drop the link real quick. Only if you disagree. Only if you disagree. I'm anxious.
All right.
To hear this. I really want to hear this. I want to hear. I mean, anything y'all disagree. Y'all want to come up here and tell us what great guy Trump is, or what great guy Obama was, or wherever y'all want to talk about up here. Or if y'all think that the event at the correspondent dinner, it wasn't staged, and that guy, that school teacher, was really going after Trump with a shotgun and the knives in his pocket, running through Secret Service checkpoints, and then write some weirded out manifesto that seems like it was made on Chat GPT, or like with a questionnaire in it and all this extra shit. Like, that was weird. That was really weird. But oh, you gotta go to our horizontal screen. Go to our or if you're on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel, go to the live, and click the stream that's horizontal, because we're running 2 streams right now. One is vertical and one is horizontal. You go to the horizontal, you click on that, then the links become clickable. You can't click links on a vertical screen, on a vertical live.
They failed. They failed 8 audits.
All right, 8 audits. Facts.
Pentagon fails 8th audit. Odds 2028 turnaround.
There you go.
This on military.com.
Hey man, we know they
audits.
corrupt. People still want to defend their corruption. They must be just as corrupt. If you're still defending the corruption that's been going on within the United States government, especially with Epstein stuff and this Iran war, then you have and not just that, also the other stuff, that clown stuff he was doing, like the tariffs and all that weird shit he was doing, and then the rug pull that he did with the Trump coin, the crypto coin that he came out with, and then the inside trading he got caught doing. It was like, are y'all really for this? Are y'all really for this? Yeah, what's on the screen says it all, man. I don't know what more could you say. 8 audits with all that tax dollar, with all those tax dollars, trillions of, hundreds of billions, almost $1 trillion.
Right. So it says the Pentagon fell 8th consecutive annual audit in December 2025, remaining the only cabinet level U.S. agency never passed one. They never passed the audit. Auditors found 26 material weaknesses in the 4.73 trillion liability / 4.65 trillion asset department, failing fully account for equipment and funds with a 2028 goal to set for clean audit. Yeah, 4.73 trillion liability.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Persistent failure. The DOD has failed every audit. It says the DOD failed every audit since 2018, which is the first year of mandatory audits. Material weakness, the auditors identified 26 severe control failures that could cause a significant financial reporting errors. Uncounted assets. Specific issues included failing to properly track items such as the F-35 fighter jet program. It said only a small number of departments, 28 components passed, while the majority did not. All right, so lawmakers have introduced the Audit the Pentagon Act to tie funding to passing the audit, a report by Rep. Mark Pocan said despite the failures, officials claim the progress have set a new target date for 2028. So they plan on auditing them in 2028. They're gonna fail that one too, sure. Yeah, but they never passed the audit ever, so they can't track where material was at or funds from the Pentagon. I'm telling you, these people just stealing. I'm telling you, they just stealing the people's money. Hey, they letting people like
High
Epstein
treason.
fly around. Yeah, they letting people like Epstein have private jets, multiple mansions, private islands with trafficking going on. And yeah, that's where the money's going to. People like that. Wars, other operations on and off the books, things of that nature. But yeah, your government's for you. Your government loves y'all. Here you go. Government loves y'all. 39 trillion, 171 billion, 242 million. And counting. Not including all the other debt that's on here. Yeah. Yeah.
Amber, if you want to click on the link, you have to go to our horizontal screen.
Hey,
Or
go to the
there's another
horizontal.
way you can do it. If you got, depending on what device you on, you can screenshot the link, and then from there you can turn it into an actual live link through your phone if that's what you're on. You can do it that way too. But if you go to our horizontals, you gotta click the Night and Day Network on the screen, and then go to our live streams, and then you gotta go to the second stream, which is a horizontal screen, and then click the button. Right. That's it. It's not really that hard to figure out. All right, here go. Just in case you lost it, here go the link again. And this is for anyone who disagree with us. And we don't want anybody on the panel that agree with us. We don't need that right now. We just want people on here, because the thing is, we accept correction if that's what you know what I mean, if you got some real credible information. So we're not closed-minded on this channel, but we definitely our angle is definitely attacking the fact that there's no such thing as Democrat or Republican when it comes to this corruption. The corruption is coming from both sides. It don't matter. That stuff don't matter anymore. So that's definitely the lead stance that we take on this channel when it comes to politics. We realize that there's so much corruption coming from both parties.
Absolutely. There's a time for politics, and then there's a time for politics. That's what Bush said.
Right.
And when Bush was in office, Bush was saying all types of had his own little slogans going on. There's a time for politics, and there's a time for politics.
In the meantime, y'all can head over to nightandayherbals.com.
30% off sale.
We got 30% off right now on all of our herbal products. We got natural, high quality herbal products. We got CBD, we got hair care products, skin care products. All the herbs you see is grown on small Amish farms in Lancaster, PA. High quality dirt, high quality fertilizer. We don't use any synthetic pesticides or anything like that. So these are high quality products.
Some vanilla milk soap. Got all types of different soaps on here for y'all. I don't know how it's not going down. Got the almond orange soap. Got golden teak wood. Got lavender. You know, we got sea breeze, got mango soap, coconut soap, like different. These are all herbal soaps. We even got the clay soap on here.
5 stars on
Cinnamon
Google.
cloves. Yeah.
Y'all can see the reviews on the website. You see the reviews, and then you also see that we 5 stars on Google. We've been in business for 7 years now doing this, and yeah, a lot of people depend on our products because the quality, you know, just the good quality of our products. And we appreciate everybody who's been shopping with us. We shipped out a lot of y'all packages today. A lot of y'all should get y'all stuff either this week or next week or whatever. But just know your stuff is coming. This is high quality, handcrafted herbal products.
We also have
work with other
apparel
entrepreneurs. We work with other entrepreneurs, you know, that got the same quality products as us. Some of our products come from them. That's on our website. So we're partnered up with other entrepreneurs who might not have, you know, the social media reach. So we helping other entrepreneurs from our community, you know, with their products and everything. Then this is what we talking about. This is how you fight back. You fight back by, you know, linking up with people who got the same type of mindset and accomplishing a goal, you know, that benefits the community. This is what we're talking about. This is a
We've
way
been
to
in
fight
business
back.
for the past 7 years, so this our products been benefiting people for the past 7 years. So
Right.
there's people that literally depend on our products every month on a monthly basis because it works, because
That's true.
our
That's
products
true.
is high quality. They're high quality.
That's true.
You know, they're high quality products. They're not mass produced like a lot of corporations just mass produce. A lot of their products is filler, has a lot of filler in it because they when you mass produce, and that's what you do, you just put a bunch of filler in the product, stuff that's not really beneficial. But when you buy stuff from, you know, people that have like local herb shops, their stuff is always more potent because they're growing, first of all, they're growing the herbs, you know, they're growing the herbs local, or they might get the herbs, you know, from a, you know, accredited, you know, space that sell, you know, herbs and stuff, and it's all handmade. It's all, you know, it's all done carefully. It's not put into a machine where they add all this extra filth into it. No, it's all natural herbs and being processed. So that's why people, you know, like even the CBD we get, the CBD people buy CBD and stuff from the gas station. They usually say that stuff give them headaches and they really can't tolerate it. But when they got to start using ours, they was like, wow, stuff is really working pretty good because they don't have all that, you know, the chemical sprays that they use and the things that they use in grow houses. When they growing it, they gotta put it under UV lights to grow it out of season. All our stuff is grown by the Amish. We grow our CBD by the Amish. So if you know anything about the Amish, they grow their stuff the natural way, the ancient way, ancient farming. That's the whole life. The whole life is farming. So, and all the dirt that they grow the herbs and stuff in is all, you know, rich dirt. You know, so that's why our stuff works the best. You know, we don't get no complaints at all.
Fact.
Like you even check out the reviews. We never got no bad reviews or bad complaints about our products because we guarantee that. All our stuff is lab tested too to make sure there ain't no, you know, impurities in it or anything. So it's all lab tested and everything. We just follow protocol. We make sure we get the best products to the people. Because the corporation's been selling us they still sell us poison. Like we can't, ever since they start mass producing in America, the industrial you know, the whole industrial revolution thing that they didn't started, and where they started mass producing and growing up, you know, having all these you know, these big ass you know, plants and all that, where they was processing and mass producing the products. I mean, people have been getting sick like crazy. Like a lot of diseases now that people are getting sick from, they didn't have this in the 40s and the 50s, 60s. even some parts of the 70s.
That's true.
Like cancer is off the chart because a lot of this stuff is chemical based. Like these chemical based products is what's giving the people
cancer and autoimmune disruptances. Yeah, people with autoimmune disruptances and gut issues.
Facts.
You know, cardiovascular issues, cancer, autoimmune issues for sure. Like that stuff skyrocketed because all the poisons that our government allow these corporations to put in our environment, whether you're talking about through the food supply or through the water or the stuff that they spraying in the air, or even how they develop a lot of our products and what they package those products in.
Right.
Even the packaging that the products come in is poisonous. Not just the contents inside the package, but the package itself. That sounds like all these hormone disruptors and all. Like it's a lot of stuff that there is, and I feel like it's chemical biological warfare at this point, because there's no way that these people don't know that how it affect health. They do all the studies and everything before they put this stuff out, and a lot of that data is manipulated and controlled by big business, because where they just allow the corporations to do all the lab testing and everything for themselves, so they can manipulate the data all day and submit it to the FDA or submit it to the USDA or submit it to the EPA, and basically they get money to basically turn their head. That's how the government and the big corporations are in bed with each other, and all that does is just destroy us, the general public. That's what we're trying to get through to y'all. And both Democrats and Republicans do the same thing. And it's for money and power. It's always for money and these politicians, they be getting off like fat rats because they get paid to basically turn their backs on the American people. And that's basically what they're doing. And it's both Democrat. It's not like there's no lesser evil when it comes to that. They all guilty of that stuff. Like there's no one to pick from, so you got to create your own systems outside of that. And a lot of that is from starting within your own household and then spread out to your neighborhood, then the community, and then the world. Like that's how it goes. Like we can't depend on these corrupt politicians to fix our households and to fix our lives. So we got to be proactive. We got to do something beyond just voting. And if you want to vote, that's fine. We ain't against that. But it goes beyond just voting, though, because you can easily just become lazy and think you did your part just because you voted. Like that, it's another brainwashing tactic that they use on us. They make you think the only way you could do your part is by going to the polls and voting. Like, no, your job ain't done. Because a lot of times the shit that you vote for, that these politicians campaigned on, most of the time they do the opposite when they get in office. They have you, they get in office thinking they're going to do one thing, and they do the exact opposite. And that's how it was with this president. That's how it was with Biden. That's how it was with Obama. All that shit that they promised, they never come through on those promises ever, and they won't ever come through on them promises. This guy was supposed to remember. He said Hillary Clinton for prison. He said when he come in here, he's gonna make sure he drain the swamp. He's gonna lock up all the pedophiles and all. He's gonna expose. He's gonna blow the Epstein stuff wide open. That's how he was talking. But he didn't. He did the exact opposite. He actually covered up a lot of the Epstein stuff. And a lot of y'all go, well, when Biden in there, nothing got released. When Biden was in there, nothing got released. What does that even mean? It's still released. Like there's people still not going to jail. It don't even matter who's in there. That's what we trying to get through to y'all. It don't matter. They all was a part of covering up the Epstein stuff. All of them. And they're still doing. They still covering it up. So how could we trust any of these politicians when they all was in on it with the Epstein stuff?
Exactly. Trump said he didn't want his friends to get in trouble. He said he don't want his friends to get in trouble behind the Epstein. They still got to protect people that's on there. When they grilled Cash Patel up there at the house, when they grilled Cash Patel and Pam Blondie, those they was like, well, he said we only could go. He said we only could release the files according to the law. He said, according to the law, we only can release the files according to the law. So that means if there's people inside the files, um, that's into, criminal activity within the files, he's basically saying it's against the law to process these people, to investigate these people.
Wow.
That didn't make any sense. That's why they was up there grilling them like, this don't make any sense. You're the FBI director and you saying you only can release the files by law, by a certain law. Certain law prohibited you to go after certain people in the Epstein files. Really? So who's in there that's above the law? You mean to tell me these people is above the law? But we know Cash Patel's a puppet anyway. He don't even know what he up there to do. Like he just up there to be in a way. Basically a front guy. He's probably about to get fired soon too. But it's all it's all part of it. Yep. Yeah. That's why I don't understand how anybody can support any of these people at this point now, because it's like, who do you really trust at the end of the day? Who do you really trust with this type of information coming out about our government being in the Epstein file? Who do you trust at this point? It makes no sense. Yeah, Pam Blondie got fired and says she's going into the private sector. That's what she said. She got fired by Trump and she's going into the private sector. She says she got duties somewhere else within the private sector. Yep.
Yeah, you gotta take a balanced approach when the world is so unbalanced. Because look, if you're too far to the left, you would tip over. If you're too far to the right, you would tip over. If you further to the right than you are to the left, then you're gonna have a limp. If you same thing, if you a little bit too far to the left than you are to the right, you have a limp. But being smack dead in the middle, you're balanced.
Right.
Y'all get it? Being smack dead in the middle, that means you're balanced. You too far to the right, you're going to tip over. You too far to the left, you're going to tip over. You're more closer to the right than you are to the left, you're going to have a limp. Vice versa. But when you're dead smack in the middle, you're going to be balanced. And that's what the world needs. More balance. That's why we telling y'all it ain't about the left or the right. It's not.
But there's no left and right when it comes to them. It's just left and right when it comes to the people. I mean, it don't make sense. Like I said, how are you voting for somebody that's part of the same organization? Because when I look at our political system, I'm looking at them as one big organization.
Yeah.
Like a corporation, like basically like a corporation.
Fact.
And you have a bunch of shareholders that's all invested in the United States of America's corporation. You have bankers, you have corporations, you have, world leaders that's all invested in this thing called the United States Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And we all work for these individuals, right? Because our tax dollars is what fuels
Well, they supposed to work for us.
Yeah, right.
Originally they were supposed to work for us. They supposed
Right.
to be servants to us, from the politicians to the police force to the judges and all. They supposed to be in service to the people.
Right.
But yeah, we know that ain't the truth. They do the complete opposite.
Facts.
The people are serving the government at this point. So they flipped it around. They take our money and basically made us work for them.
That's only because
right. That's crazy.
Right. That's only because the people don't realize where the real power lies at. They got us. They basically just, did the old switcheroo. It made the people believe that you got to depend on these people. Like the power always been in the people, but that's up to the people to decide. Because you guaranteed if 100 million people said no, we ain't paying taxes, we're not sending our kids to y'all schools, we're not buying nothing from the corporations, we're not voting, we're not subscribing to none of y'all it'll shut down. It would literally shut everything down if the people decided to say no. But not only do that though, like when you do that type of thing, you have to have demands that go along with that. Listen, this is demands we want. We're not making any moves. We're not pumping no more gas, nothing. Listen, we're not going to work. We're just going to sit in our homes. We're going to make these demands. Listen, we want all the chemicals out the food. We want y'all corporations to stop making stop putting chemicals in the food and in the products. We need tax breaks for the citizens. The citizens shouldn't have to be paying federal tax. No, we don't want to pay federal tax no more. We want y'all to be transparent. We also want y'all to send us every year. We want you to send, when we gotta go file taxes, we want to see transparency. We want to see where our tax dollars is being spent at. Or we just don't matter of fact, we want tax breaks for small local businesses that need to thrive, to get this economy going again. No more taxes for, the smaller businesses. We need tax breaks for the smaller businesses so they can thrive again. We want no wars. We want y'all to, get out of all these other countries that y'all in. Shut down all operation in all these other countries. If it's not necessary to be there, you need to get these soldiers out of there so they can come home and be with their families. Got to really start making real demands, bro. Because these people don't only understand money and power. That's it. They don't understand y'all. They don't speak in the language of Democrat, Republican. That's not their game. Their game, that's only the game they make created for us to play. They don't operate in Democrat, Republican. That's not their thing. And the Epstein files prove that's not their thing. They don't operate in that world. That's only to keep the people separate. That's only to keep the people separate. Keep people from, being critical thinkers and actually coming together, and that's what they don't want. So they don't operate in the atmosphere of Democrat, Republican. That's not their game. Their game is world domination, control, world domination, so they can make sure their kids go to private schools, make sure they can own private islands and private jets, eat the best foods, live luxurious off the people's backs. Yeah, that's what they put in there for. Sorry. Yep. Yep. Yeah, the Catholic Church is heavy into sex trafficking and all that thing. Yeah, a lot of those priests, it was busted. where they paying, billions of dollars. Well, supposedly paying billions of dollars in, in lawsuits and things of that nature. Yeah, the Catholic Church is definitely heavy into it. We always talk about the orders that's coming out of Vatican. We always talk about the black nobility family on this channel. Yeah, that's something you rarely hear people talking about, is the black nobilities. They the one that really runs all of this, to tell you the truth. Yeah. Yep. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, like this video if you haven't, subscribe to this channel, because we definitely gonna turn up on the information like we've been doing. So make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. I guess the people that disagree and really want to get on the panel and hit the link.
Yeah, I don't know what they claim. Oh, they ain't able to do it. We giving them instructions on how they can click the link. You gotta just go to the other stream.
Right.
Just go to the horizontal screen and click the link from there. Yeah, you right, Brianna. National debt is another psyop. Half that money never physically existed. Facts. Yeah, right. That's because they loan. That's because the fractional reserve banking, and they loaning debt out like it's actual money that they got.
Facts.
Yeah, another scam that they do.
For them to be able to print money out of thin air.
Yeah.
Actually just digitally type it into a computer system.
Right.
That's the greatest scam that ever came, with the money system. That's the greatest scam ever.
Could you imagine if a regular citizen got caught doing what the government do? They go to jail for 500 years. They
right,
do 500 years in jail.
Right. You'll die, come back, and go to jail again. You'll die and keep reincarnated and going to jail behind doing the same thing they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Loaning out debt like it's real money.
Right.
And then charging interest on that too. Fact. Yeah, that's just straight. That's one scam right there. And the thing is that bubble is about to burst. That's what's happening. That's why everything is collapsing, because that bubble is about to burst now. Because you can only hold up that scam for so long before everybody realize, hey, nobody really have any money.
Facts.
And that's where we at right now. So they created another scam called crypto, because they're going to use that as the next scam, and they also going to be able to track everything we do with that. So that's another. So they're going to try to use the crypto stuff to so-called bail us out. That's why they artificially raising the value of Bitcoin. Believe me, that's artificial. The value of Bitcoin, that's just artificial. They definitely inflated those numbers. So they're going to try to use that and say, oh, we're going to pay off the national. You heard Trump say, we're going to pay off the national debt with Bitcoin, and we're going to lead the world in cryptocurrency. So they created this whole crypto system because they knew the whole system was failing and crashing. And they knew that was going to happen because that was the plan from the beginning. Because you can't keep going with a system like this before it all falls down. So they already got the next thing in place, and that's digital currencies. That's why the government right now is distracting everybody with these wars, with these correspondent stage attack dinners and all this type of stuff. Is because really they setting up the infrastructure for the new economic system, which is going to be 100% digital. We're talking digital currency, CBDCs, and stable coins.
Yep.
Wherever they can get the shit in that. So that's what they really distracting us from, because that's going to change everything. Like, we're already about 80% there, but we're not there all the way.
Right.
We about 80% there, because they haven't put all the structure in place yet. And the whole world is waiting for the United States. They always do that. because the United States has always been a part of the plan of the New World Order. Let's just call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. We see how everything is falling into place. Those of us who've been paying attention. We see how everything is a scam. How everything got us where we at right now. Everything is a scam to get us exactly where we are at right now, on the verge of a global economic collapse. And that's exactly what they wanted. A global, and that's what the COVID shit was about. That's what they had to shut the world down, to slow down production of everything. They had to go release their gain of functions of viruses into the environment. They had to shut the whole world down so they can slow down, especially small businesses. Right. And the big corporate ones that they didn't need it, that they don't need anymore, or they about to restructure and turn them automated with artificial intelligence and all that. Because that's another thing that's happening. Artificial intelligence is taking over.
Facts. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah,
this is all distraction. So all the wars, the staged correspondent attack dinner, and all that shit is to set the for this economic reset that we're about to have. Right. This global economic reset.
The fact that they want to put the world on autonomous, and they put the whole world on an automated system, that's basically what they want to do. Where AI, artificial intelligence is, every aspect of our lives. How we shop, how we interact with each other, how we shop, how we how we transport ourselves, everything. Like they want to do away with cars and have everything on autonomous. How we travel, self-driving. Well, they got the self-driving cars and all that. But yeah, they trying to put the overall automated system, the way our food is served. Like some restaurant now is using 100% artificial intelligence. You have Amazon. Amazon use, for their warehouses, they use artificial intelligence. They use AI. So yeah, there's a lot of other
changing.
Yeah, and it's the stuff you see in the movies, because that's basically a lot of those movies was preparing us for these times anyway. A lot of the movies we grew up on, whether it was Terminator, Matrix, and then the Jetsons, RoboCop, Judge Dredd, all these different movies that prepared us for these times was all done on purpose. So that's what we're seeing now. That's what the time, and right now, a lot of us gonna be dead and gone by the time you see, this world make a complete change where everything looks different and all futuristic. Yeah, that's, a lot of us gonna be dead and gone by then. Even though Japan do have some, some parts of there in Japan that look real futuristic. Like, I don't know, Japan was kind of like ahead of us with the artificial intelligence. A lot of the, cities in Japan look like some shit out of a sci-fi movie, to be honest.
Right.
They do. Like, you look at some of them cities that Japan, like, it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. Only thing they don't have is flying cars yet, So
yeah,
that's what they're trying to
headed in that direction.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do with, with America. Like LA, they trying to do the whole, LA project. They updating the transportation where it's all digital and self-driving cars and automated, subways and Yeah, they trying to do the whole upgrade. So if you look up a project called Smart LA Project, you will see that's where they trying to upgrade a lot of LA. And they trying to do it, from now to when they bring the Olympics to Los Angeles in 2028. They trying to make this look all prettied up, have everything in place, looking all prettied up for when the Olympics comes to Los Angeles in 2028. That's what all those those fires was about. That's what all those fires was. They need the space. They need the land, to start, build new infrastructure. The prettiest poison, right? Because this stuff, right? Like, yeah, y'all about to see a whole new infrastructure. Yep. Yeah, look up when y'all get a chance. Look it up. Smart LA Project. We actually did some live streams on that too. So it's up some other content y'all might want to check out on the channel as well. So, we got a lot of the content, talking about certain topics like this. Yes, indeed. But yeah, man. I guess we're gonna go ahead and conclude this live stream. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, like this video. Y'all can share this video. And don't just listen to what we said. Go research anything we said. You can make sure you do your own research.
Please do your own research. Yeah, because we're not trying to force anything down anybody's throat right now. So we're just only stating what we observed. And a lot of people agree with us because it's right in front of our faces at this point.
Right.
It's right in front of our faces. I mean, we was hoping that some of y'all who disagreed with us came up on a panel to discuss why you disagreed with us. And why do you think that correspondent dinner wasn't staged? Well,
right.
I feel like majority of people think that it was staged.
Right.
Like, these are people who, who voted for Trump. Even people who voted for Trump believe that it was staged. Tell you the truth, a lot of people who voted for Trump regret that right now. But the thing is, it's not like if they would have voted for Kamala, it would have been any better.
Yeah, voting for Kamala would have been trash, bro.
It would have been the same. It would have been the same result.
Right.
It would have been the same result because like we tell y'all all the time, that Oval Office is basically have been taken over. It's infiltrated.
Bought and paid for it.
That Oval Office has been bought and paid for, y'all. Like those people that's working out of the Oval Office, no matter if it's Democrat or Republican, is not for the interests of the American people at all.
Nope.
And the thing is, their actions are showing that. It ain't even about conspiracy theory. It's about what they're actually doing and what we all see. Like the moves that they're making never benefit the American people. Like this war in Iran, for instance, that do not benefit the American people at all. At all. I mean, that's the reality of it. Just about every other war never benefited America. Whether it was the Vietnam War, the Iraq War, Afghanistan, none of that benefited the American people at all. Only people who benefited off of that was like government private contractors and the politicians themselves. But the general public, like we don't benefit off of any of these wars that they drag us into. So I mean that's another thing that we have to realize. So I mean y'all can research this yourselves. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Man, nightandayherbals.com, man. That's your way to support us. If y'all feeling what we doing and y'all see that especially y'all who've been following us all these years, we definitely want to thank all of y'all for supporting us. Those of y'all who've been following us all these years, who's been around, our day ones. We definitely appreciate all of y'all. But yeah, man, nightandayherbals.com. We out of here, man. Anything else you got for the people?
Google is 9 Day Network LLC. Type that in your Google browser. You'll see us come up on there. Or type it in Gemini. It was Night and Day Network LLC. You'll see everything pop up. All right, we appreciate y'all tuning in. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Catch y'all on the next one. All right, peace.
Peace.
Make sure y'all watch the uploads too. We uploading videos too, so make sure y'all check out the uploads. All right.
I'm not even gonna lie. The joint pain I deal with every day will slow me all the way down. But ever since I started using this right here, Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, everything changed. And within minutes, I feel the difference. Like real relief. Now I can clean my whole house without even thinking about the pain. As a nurse, I'm on my feet all day. And this right here helps me get through my entire shift. I can actually enjoy time with my kids now. Go outside, be active, without hurting the whole time. Feels good to just live again. Honestly, if it wasn't for Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, I don't think I'd have the quality of life I have right now.
Comfort slows you down. Reach for natural relief. Night and Day Hemp's extra strength CBD pain relief balm melts into aching muscles, delivering warmth you can feel. Soothe your body naturally. Feel free to move again. Night and Day Hemp balm melts away tension so you can enjoy every moment. Feel the difference fast. Real relief, real results. Order now at nightandayherbals.com.